Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Or possibly not tonight, depending on your time zone. Yeah, somebody said 3 hours. Sounds about right. To the end of episode 6. I don't know about the tea parties. Just turn that off. So, I've been told apparently that this is my last chance to figure out if who the killer is in the mystery and stuff like that. Well, not the killer, but like the mystery. And like I've said a couple times, I got nothing. Unfortunately, I'm sure once it gets told to me, it will make sense to me. You don't agree that it's my last chance? But I don't know, I got nothing. To be perfectly honest. I've thought about it a little bit, and I don't really have anything, and I think I'd honestly just have to have the game tell me. It's still pretty ambiguous in episode 7, but it gets more explicit. Can I do live react to some Umineko 216 chapters again? Yeah, sure. Give me some ones to read later. Stream should give me good hints. Okay, well, then I suppose we can get started with it. Let's see. September 26th, that sounds about right. Mystery novels where the detective explains makes all the readers go, ooh, ah, that's it. I mean, people keep asking me for like any ideas that I have. I have none. I don't know. I mean, the only idea that I have is that it's probably going to be heavily supported by some of the endings. Like, I'm sure there's little hints along the way, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the endings of the games are probably some of the biggest hints. And some of the biggest, like, supporting things. That's about all I got. So let's proceed. A dreary breeze blew throughout the rose garden. Shannon and Kanon had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons giving the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. It's super paper, yes. Each had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. We're all featherines in your Angie. Actually, I feel like I have like a connection with Angie here. Like, everything that she complains about is like what I complain about. Or, I love her. She's great. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had already entrusted all of their thoughts to them, and their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. Shannon and Kanon stood quietly with their backs turned. They had already resolved the thoughts they had gathered over those many days. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. Pt.216 was the only one who still had no determination or resolution with regard to this duel. Seeing a new side of Shannon and Kanon today. Literally. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Kanon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they forced to kill each other?
わからない。私にはどうしてもわからない。妹よ、我らには見守ることしか許されぬ。ゼパルさん、フルフルさん、どうしてこんな決闘を？こんなの恋の試練じゃない。やっぱりあなたたちは悪魔なんです。どちらかの恋人たちを破綻させて、それを見て喜びたいだけの悪魔なんです。
静かに。
恋人たちの邪魔になるわ。邪魔をしてるのはあなたたちじゃないですか。どちらかが倒れた方の恋人たちが嘆き悲しむ。あなたたちさえいなければ誰も悲しまない。
それは違う。僕たちがこの決闘を取り持たなかったら。
二組はどちらも破綻したわ。これは必要な決闘なの。私は最初から納得できなかったんです。魔法の奇跡がなければ恋って成し遂げられないんですか？恋って愛し合う二人さえいれば他に何もいらないんじゃないんですか？この決闘は無意味です。だからやめて、二人とも。
This is what you guys get for falling in love with servants.
シャノンも
Good job.
カノンも。あんなにも実の兄弟のように仲良しだったあなたたちがどうして殺し合わなくちゃいけないの？私にはどうしてもわからない。
Everyone should have been able to hear Beto's yell. However, no one's expression changed.
そうだよ。よく気づいたね。
それこそ愛の真実。何がですか？
愛し合う二人以外に本来は何もいらないんだ。
だからそれが二人でないとき、私たちは決闘でその数を二人にしなくてはならない。一人の女性を奪い合っての決闘ならまだわかります。愛し合ういびつな三人を二人にする決闘。しかし彼らは二人と二人、それぞれの世界はもう完成されてるじゃないですか。争わなければならない理由が何もない。
世界を生み出す最小の人数は二人。
二人が揃って初めて世界は生まれ、恋は成就される。
だからこの決闘は必要なんだ。
彼らがその人数を満たすために。家具は人間未満だから一人を満たせないと言い出すんですか？
正解だよ。家具は人間未満だから家具と人間じゃ二人を満たせない。
そんなのおかしいです。愛し合う二人の身分なんて関係ない。
いいや、あるよ。本当に愛し合う二人の身分は関係ないの？
妻を持つ男との恋は許されるの？夫を持つ女との恋は許されるの？
親との恋は許されるの？子との恋は許されるの？恋の許されない身分なんていくらでもある。
じゃあ家具って何なんですか？どうして家具は恋をしちゃいけないんですか？
魂が一人に満たないから。シャノンもカノンも駒である君ももちろん。
あなたたちはみんな家具。魂が一人分に満たないから人間以下。
Wow, it's pretty harsh of you there. Coming out. Calm down.
人を愛する資格はただ一つ。一人に満たつ魂を持っていること。 だから愛し合う二人は世界を生み出せる。
例えば妻を持つ男はもう一人の女を愛する資格を持つと思う？
あるわけがない。二人の女を愛せばその愛情は一人分に満たない。そのような男に愛する資格はない。
ね、人を愛する資格のない人間や身分なんていくらでもあるの。二人の愛の一切あれば関係ない？それは甘い愛の偽善。
僕たちはね、恋をする資格を偽る人間を許さない。
Metaphors intensify.
世界を生み出す最小人数を満たせない人間以下の存在の恋を許さない。僕たちの試練はそのためにある。罪深き魂たちに一人分の魂を取り戻させ、本当の恋ができるようにするために。
ゼパル様、フルフル様、
僕たちの心の準備ができました。
どうか決闘の合図をお願いします。
The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given. Zephyr nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. Further spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the two duelists.
見ているといいわ。愛し合う恋人たちのどちらかが破綻する決闘を。いいえ、これは破綻のための決闘じゃない。本当の恋を成就させるための決闘。私にはあなたたちの言っている意味がわからない。いいえ、わかりなさい。これは本当に人を愛することができる人間が誕生する瞬間。意味がわからない。どちらが勝とうともどうか祝福してあげて。今彼らの家具としての日々が終わる。
合図は簡単。僕が1、2の3を数える。3と同時に決闘開始だ。
承知してます。
同じく。
2人が共に弾を外したら一度中断。再び弾を与え、もう一度背中合わせからやり直し。
決着がつくまで繰り返したい。
ゼブ、この決闘過去に何度も見てるのかい？
もちろん。
What makes the furniture subhuman? Probably their self-crippling doubt.
何度も見てきたよ。
I'm not real. I'm just a furniture.
決着がつくんだよ。
ほとんどの場合、弾丸一発で決着がつくよ。
みんな随分と拳銃の腕がいいんだな。
違うよ。片方が外せば残った方は悠々と追い詰めて撃つことができる。初弾をもし外したらまず勝ち目はないね。
しかしぼんやりしていれば引き金も引けずに負けることになる。
同じ負けるならせめて引き金を引いてから負けたい。
いい覚悟だよ、二人とも。では行くよ。
I'm rooting for Kanon here. Sorry, Shannon.
術。ニノ。
Life flashes before your eyes. In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, with the sound of both going off at the same time. Yeah, oh yes, Kanon. I'd appreciate the lack of hints. Thank you. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with the gun raised and smoke trailing the barrel, was Kanon. And lying in the earth was Shannon, pretending to be dead as she shoots Kanon. No, okay, I guess not.
いや、シャノンが倒れたのは銃声より早かった。
Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. Yes, yes. I thought that might happen. Slowly, Shannon stood up. There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Kanon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Kanon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Kanon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that hoping Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first would result in him losing before even pulling the trigger. So he had decided to shoot right away. And he had predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he was already planning to shoot right away, he was sure that his readiness would allow him to shoot with accuracy. If Kanon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Kanon wouldn't have even been able to pull the trigger. So Kanon hadn't been impatient. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result.
まさかあの短気な姉さんが撃たないなんてね。
私も意外だった。あの慎重なカノン君が振り向きざまなんてね。
All part of the plan, of course. As Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit with even more certain accuracy. And Kanon had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet, and place his bet on the second round. If they both thought this, then they were wrong.
まだ終わっちゃいない。
Kanon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. This duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. Is that a legal move? Can you do that? And if Shannon calmly shot through Kanon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss. The odds that he could get close enough to her before she fired. Kanon bet all the chips that he had on these. Shannon could draw Kanon in until the last second, then shoot him from a closer distance. She could also pull the trigger just before he reached her, and they would start over from the beginning if she missed. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Kanon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She led her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved and the time it would take to pull the trigger. The The goddess of fortune smiles impartially.
しまった。
Getting past the final moment Shannon could have shot, Kanon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Kanon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, Kanon picked up both and shot both of them. There was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky and entrusted everything to the goddesses of fortune. Then they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know how it had turned out until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The barrel of Kanon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm. And the barrel of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet, both expressions were solemn, filled with absolutely no doubts in their own fate, until the moment the trigger would be pulled. Are we going to say something memorable here right before they try to shoot again? Yes, they are.
私たちはすぐに黄金鏡で会えるよ。
僕たちはもっと早くこうするべきだったね。
そうすれば再会しなくて済むのにね。
いいさ、この決闘さえももはや今日という日の前にはただの茶番さ。
そうだね。どうせ蘇る黄金鏡の前には本当にただの茶番。じゃあ
Better hurry up.
後ほど。
The audience is waiting for blood.
後ほど。
さようなら。
And blood they shall receive. But not yet, later. No blood now.
おい、どうした？
Kanon, are you dead?
しっかりしろ！
Suddenly, Kanon fell to the floor as if he'd had an attack of amnesia. Ugh. Words, please. It had happened without any warning beforehand, so everyone rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. Then they realized that he wasn't actually bleeding. He got up just fine, but Shannon in the other room is now dead.
そんな。どうしたんだ？
Or actually, no, Shannon's in this room, isn't she? Totally forgot.
どういうことだ？これは。
Trying to get a look at the wound, Goto wiped Kanon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet, almost as though it was seeping through his skin, blood was pouring out.
何やってやがんだ。
Oh, Shannon's with George. Okay, I gotcha. Shannon is in the other room. Look at me, I accidentally did it right.
しっかり止血
And
し
then
ろ。
corrected it wrongly.
それが傷が
There's
ない
no bleeding to stop.
血が止まらない。
カノンがしっかり。カノン君。よしやくん。
Shannon, you joker with your bleeding forehead. I'm just gonna be really non-helpful here like usual. Kanon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just as though he was a puppet whose strings had been cut. He passed away. Jessica dashed up to Kanon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his. And as the still hot remaining blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed.
Shannon.
Yeah, Kanon does get the short end of the stick all the time.
ジョージさん、私が勝ちました。これで私にはあなたを愛する資格がやっと。
Shannon leaned against George's chest, as though the strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence. And then she started bleeding too! Someone gave Kanon 2 bullets! There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs.
This, 僕たちへの試練はもう十分かい？
十分さ。おめでとう。残ったのは君たちだ。
It's all the hobo, I know it.
君たちを祝福するわ。
Yeah, that's a lie, actually. My one suspicion so far is the hobo. That is all.
でも忘れないで。愛を育むのがこれからのあなたたちの務め。
この奇跡が生み出した恋の種をどうかしっかり育ててほしい。
もちろんさ。彼女と君たちにかけて誓う。
それでは魔法の奇跡をシャノンに。
今こそ君の魂を人間に一人分に満たそう。集え満たぬ魂よ、一なる魂となりて愛を知りたまえ。
When Zephyr and Furtifu faced the heavens and yelled, the miracle of love gathered the souls around Shannon. They came from the losers of the trial, from Kanon, who had been defeated, and from Beto, who had dropped out. Slowly, the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust.
これはどういうことだ。
Forgot to tell you about the small text at the bottom of the waiver you signed.
負けたら消えるとは聞いていないぞ。
Yeah, that's why you always get the magnifying glass out. As she yelled, Beto the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly.
カノンは死んだから消える。そしてベアとはバトラーを愛するために生まれたから、その資格を失って消える。
これはとても公平。あなたが生き残ったなら他の二人が消え去ったのだから。
我が妹よ、しっかりせよ。バトラの密室を解き救うのではなかったのか。
I don't think she has an option on this one.
こんなところで果ててどうする。それでも一なるわらわの片割れか。
私ってどうしてバトラさんを好きになるなんて目的のために生まれたんですか。どうして私はバトラさんを好きなの。好きになる理由を実は知らないんです。
はあ、こんな時に何を。
だって私生まれた時にバトラさんを愛しなさい、愛されなさいって、それが目的で生み出されて、だからどうしてバトラさんを私は好きなのかよく知らなくて。
人を好きになるのに理由などいらぬわ。消えるな。そなたが消えたら誰がバトラを救う。我が妹よ、ベアトリーチェ。
I kind of picture that going differently. I don't know. Who's gonna say Battler now?
どうしてバトラさんのことを好きなんですか、お母様。
ああ、俺ってさ、家庭的なことか案外苦手なんだよな。この通りガサツな性格だろ。レディーファーストとか、女の子の前では礼儀正しくとか、そういうのはさっぱり苦手なんだよな。だから強いて好みはって言われると、そうだな、ジェシカみたいなタイプの女なら結構好きかもな。俺がガサツなように向こうもガサツがちょうどいいんだ。お互いよ、汚ねえ言葉遣いで気疲れなく、男女とか気にしないでバカがやれるラフだから、もしも俺に彼女ができるとしたら、いつも俺がジェシカとバカやってるみたいにはちゃめちゃな関係がいいよな。あ、容姿の好み？別にそんなのは気にしねえけどよ。
Ideal type is his cousin. Yes.
まあ洋画とかに出てくる金髪ボーイ、青めのグラマラスな彼女だったら最高だぜ。ちいちもませろーいってな。
Just remembering that great move from the fighting game. He's so good. Beatrice, listen. I'm giving you my love for Ushirimi, a battler. You must become the kind of woman Battler likes. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then you must love him in my place. And then if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please take my feelings that went unfulfilled. My feelings that I couldn't hold back, and make my wish come true. Take the breast he likes, yes. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rokenjima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you will become the master of this island, and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all of my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch Beatrice. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessing to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed. My dear Beatrice, no one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they will be able to see us.
わ、私たちは夢を見ているのか。ふざけろ。こりゃ何の冗談だよ。なんだ、南條先生を。南條
I
先生
don't
を呼
think
んで
he's
き
gonna
ます。
be able to fix that one.
ゴーだ。
Nanjo, can you stop bleeding from a hole that doesn't exist?
もういい。
Genju, who had been calm and silent throughout the whole thing, finally spoke. And those were the most reasonable words spoken. Oh, I got you. Snake Eater, yes. I was sitting there wondering what you meant by Snake Eater, and then I was like, is he talking about the lyrics? And then I just like kind of told them to myself in my head, and I got it. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the heat of. What? Like the leftover snow on a summer's day, Kanon's form was, by now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold and vanished completely.
どこ行っちゃったの？ヨシア君どこ？ヨシア君！ヨシア君！
さよなら、お嬢様。ジェシカ。
カノンさん。
僕たちはもう誰の目にも触れられない。それはつまり彼らの世界ではいないのと同じことだけれども、でもこうして僕たちはここにいる。
そうですね。私たちはここにいる。
僕たちには体なんて肉でできた檻でしかないのだから、悲しむ必要なんてない。
でも気の毒ですね、ジェシカさん。
だからこれが僕の罪なのさ。だから僕たち家具は恋をしてはいけなかったんだ。
あなたはこれから
姿を失っても、そして話しかけることができなくても、もしもジェシカが僕に語りかけてくれた時、 その背中でそっとうなずくくらいのことしかできないけれど、だからそばにいることにする。
良いことだと思います。
君はどうする？
バトラさんを密室から助けたいです。
密室？
It's a bit too late for that. After looking a bit taken aback, Kanon laughed gently and slightly awkwardly. Bidu, who hadn't expected to be laughed at, looked a little sour.
どうして笑うんですか？私には大切なことなんです。
だって密室なんて体のある人間たちの問題じゃないか。僕らはすでに
Kanon laughing is
肉の
pretty
檻から解
rare,
放さ
isn't
れた
it?
存在だよ。密室なんか僕たちの妨げになる
Oh
ものだ。
man, let's go haunt Battler's corpse.
そんなのいいんですか？だってチェーンロックとかガムテープの封印とか赤き真実とか。
そうか、君は駒の世界じゃなくてそれより上の世界の存在だったね。だから僕たちとは違う制約があるらしい。やれやれ。
Kanon stretched. It looked as though he was about to head out somewhere.
カノンさん、
敗者同士の仲さ。いいよ、僕が行ってきてあげるよ。僕がお屋敷の客室へ行ってバトラ様を外に出し、入れ替わりでチェーンをかけて代わりにクローゼットに隠れる。それでいいかい？
Are you allowed to do that?
気持ちは嬉しいです。でもカノンさんはいとこ部屋から出
You're
てき
not.
て
You
も
can't just
エ
cheat
リカさんの封
like
印の
that.
せいで
It's kind of rude, honestly. Unlike the next room over, the cousin's room where Kanon had been had been guaranteed to be a complete closed room, even counting the windows. What do you mean bubblegum tape is disgusting? That's good stuff. Not only did he have no way to save Battler, but he couldn't even escape himself.
なら君の魔法で僕に力を与えて。
私の魔法で？
僕に魔法をかけて。
そんな、私魔法の使い方なんて。
君は黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェじゃないのかい？
私は魔女ですけれど、その魔法どころか密室トリックもわからないただの。
やれやれ。いいかいベアトリーチェ、一度しか教えないよ。魔女ってのはね。
魔女ってのは？
魔女ってのは謎を解かされる側じゃない。
謎を解かされる側じゃない？
ああ、そうさ。どうして魔女が誰かの謎で頭を抱えてるんだい？頭を抱えるのは魔女の仕事じゃ。
じゃあ魔女の仕事は？
僕の知ってる黄金の魔女ベアととびっきりの魔法で誰にもわからない難問を生み出して煙に巻いて嘲笑ってるやつを言うんだ。誰にもわからない最悪の謎を作って徹底的に煙に巻いてこき下ろしてやれ。相手に出された謎で頭を抱えるのはね、君じゃない。君の相手の。
悩むのは私の相手の仕事。
後ろ宮バトラーをどうやって密室から出すかを悩むんじゃない。チェーンロックの密室、バカバカしいね。なら君はそんなのよりもっともっととびっきりの最高の密室を作ってやって。
Try small bombs. That works well.
あいつらを悩ませてやろうじゃないか。僕の手を貸すよ。
悩むのは私じゃなくて。
あいつらの方さ、地獄の悪夢をひれ伏して絶句する。最悪の密室トリックを無限に使いこなす無限の魔女ベアトリーチェの本当の恐ろしさを、そろそろ連中も思い出してもいい頃
バトラさんの密室よりは最悪の密室。
だ。僕らはもうそれを手に入れてるじゃないか。
最悪の密。
In the back of Beater's mind, images she remembered began to flit by, one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden. Trick, mistake, lure. Taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? I think I've seen something like it in a book before. Peter's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swallowing her up.
あともう一個。
何です？
それ密室の魔女の喋り方にはふさわしくない。
やっぱり私は
わらわでなくっちゃ。
What is that some Japanese like pun or joke or something? What was that? I think I missed something important there. Japanese different tones, it's less polite. Well, I know it's a different way of saying I, but is that important that they emphasize that so much? Kanon is telling her to speak less politely. Oh, I get it. I get it. That makes sense. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, I'm not super familiar with that word, Delnor could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. Then, Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
それは本当ですか？
近景。現在コーネリア補佐官が現場保全に向かいたるものなりエリカ教にも中心すべきかと存じ上げ立てまつる。
わかりました。ご中心申し上げます。
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think there's a good way to translate that kind of thing. We don't really have levels of talking in quite the same way. Not in the same way exactly.
ガートルードは式典警備長に連絡です。準戦闘配備。
業務。ご歓談中失礼いたします。本式典警備長であります。
え？私？なに？なんかよ。
だからはしゃぎすぎだって言ったのに。さすがにシャンパンタワーでボーリングはやりすぎだよ。少し油を絞られてきなさい。
エルン、こら！もう何よ、私なんかした？
受付に差出人不明のラムダデルタ教宛てと記された封筒が届けられました。
私、 非通知と差出人不明は全部ポイしちゃう主義なの。そんなの捨てちゃって。
それがこれなのですが。
何それ。これ届いたことは誰かに言った？
いえ、受付の姉妹兵2名と私のみです。すでに箝口令を与えました。
The instant she saw that envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Bernkastel had walked away and was apparently making fun of Erica. Bern and, of course, Erica were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. There's something about that Erica face that makes me laugh. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. The seal is... That's a good Erica face. I love that one. Lambda Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents and read them. I am ever so slightly worried about the idea of people throwing out theories possibly landing it right. Because that would kind of suck. I've got a friend who's really good at figuring out mysteries, like, way ahead of schedule, so I really can't watch stuff with them in that way. I don't know. But see, the thing, I don't really want you to use Route 13, because if you're using it, I'm assuming you're also willing to decode it. I don't know about that. I actually don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for now. I don't really know what to say for that. Sorry. Her eyes instantly started to glint. And she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick. I know, this is a hard part of the story, spoiler-wise, because we are, like, on the verge of figuring stuff out. But I do like the idea of maybe marking it as a theory and then writing it in Route 13, maybe? I'm avoiding Route 13 entirely. That's just me.
狙撃班は赤色弾頭を携行しています。ご許可をいただければ装填命令を出します。
何言ってんのよ。今日はどんだけ豪華な来賓が来てると思ってんの？万一参列者に流れ弾が当たったら、シエスタこの得体の新しい妹たちは向こう10年は工場から弾頭台に直行しなきゃなんないくらいの責任になるわよ。いるわけないでしょ。だって7組はバトラの、そして今やエリカの家具じゃない。
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll go with the idea of marking it as a theory in plain text, and then you can Route 13 the rest.
どうして味方に監視をつけちゃうの？とにかく警備を、まあそこそこにちゃちゃっと厳重にしなさい。
先ほどガートルード上席補佐官より準戦闘配備勧告を受けました。理由は不明であります。
ガートルードがじゃあ勧告に従っちゃいなさい。パーティーは賑やかな方がいいってことでしょ。
了解であります。WO よりシエスタ17、シエスタ38、シエスタ45、コード R、警戒発令、レベル2で待機を伝達。17コピー、38コピー、
45了解。そこでコピーといえばかっこいいのにね。焦っちゃってつい。
Copy ね。
そうそう45。ちょっとこっち来て。なんです？ おったくんなんですって
What did you say about my ear? Oh, never mind.
ありえない
Has nothing to do with your ears.
現在コーネリアに向かわせていますベアトリーチェはここを襲撃する可能性が極めて大です披露宴を中断されて退避されることを進言いたしますどうしたのエリカ何か余興に手違いでもいえ我が主どうぞ引き続き披露宴をお楽しみください
Mia. Mia.
あ誰かベルンカステル卿に梅干しワインのおかわりを
Erica didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Berncastel saw this, she knew that their final late guest had finally arrived.
ルシネゲストハウスで動きがあったそうよ
Get burned drunk real quick.
ゲーム版のことなんか今はくだらない話だわそれが
The wedding crashers are preparing.
密室のいとこ部屋からカノン君が失踪したってはああんた分かってんのいとこ部屋は扉も窓も完璧に封印されてる完全密室じゃない失踪なんて不可能だわいや私も裏を取ってきた間違いないカノンはいとこ部屋より姿を消しているいとこ部屋のどこかに隠れてるとかあるいは最初からうまくごまかしてもともと部屋に入ってなかったとか不可能だわいとこ部屋にはエリカ卿が読み上げた特定個人数名以外の全員が入ってることが保証されてるのよごまかして逃れることは不可能だわどうやってユングフラウの封印結果よいやそれよりカノンは一体どこへ
You know, he was mentioning something about that, so he's obviously figured a way out. I'm kind of wondering if he was like... I don't even know how. I mean, that term everyone was super vague. There's some loophole in that term everyone, surely. That we're going to use to our advantage, despite what Erica obviously wanting to use it to her advantage.
至急探しなさい
At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went black. The surprise commotion of the guest filled the cathedral.
来たわね WO よりオールシエスタコード R 警戒シエスタ17電源系統回復はネガティブ管理室スタッフとの通信が拒絶中オールシエスタコードレッド
I need you to generate light by creating intense friction to make fire.
ロックンロール
Rock and roll.
コピー
Copy?
コピー
Copy.
了解あじゃなくてコピー
Copy. The sniper teams and the chandeliers all released their safeties at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition.
エリカ卿控室へ退避をここは危険です何が危険なんですこの世界の領主は私です
Are you though?
その私が何に怯えて逃げ
I
ろ
don't
と言
think
うん
you are
です
yet.
ガートルード要人警護結界準備コーネリアを至急呼び戻すのです
Evacuate? I'm the detective. I can't evacuate.
結界あんたらの無様でみっともない結界で婚礼衣装の私を包もうってんですかなんたる侮辱
This disturbance made even Battler groan, as he sat in the next seat like a doll. Or that might have been that scene with the ring. That might have had something to do with it. Even with his soul sealed, Battler probably realized that something strange was going on.
遅かったじゃないねえラムダ そうね。待ちくたびれちゃったわね。さっきのあれ、何？誰からのラブレター？ファンレターよ。ラムダちゃんファンクラブの。
Lambda Delta played dumb and munched some popcorn at a wedding. Good wedding food. Then the lights finally turned on. It was clear that during the blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The Whispering Goat attendants all realized it as well. Whose scheme was this? And what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this, and an excited chatter filled the cathedral.
来たみたいね。カープ、あなたもう戻ってきていいんですか？
I'm not denying popcorn is always good. I'm saying, why is she eating it at a wedding?
私にほら、牢屋って意味ないし。
確かに。
でもリーチェ、バトラの密室もいとこ部屋も、そして唯一可能性のあった隣部屋も全て封じられてしまった。
That's a good question. Popcorn all the time.
どうやってバトラを救い出す気なの？
お嬢様が何かのトリック X を用意できたと仮定しましょう。となれば、それをエリカ卿に突きつけるべく乗り込んでくるは必至。
しかし、この大勢のシエスタ兵たちが相手では、まさかこんなに隠れていたなんて。無理だわ、縫い殺されてしまう。
Rabbit ears dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she could remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around.
エリカに一度だけ肉薄するチャンスがあれば、五分の勝負までは持ち込めるわ。
なるほど、その手ですか。しかし、そのアイテムをお嬢様がお持ちだといいのですが、いつも面倒くさがっていくらご用意しても嫌われていましたからな。やれ、最後まで世話の焼けるお嬢様だ。
Amid the crowd, Ronobi took something out and showed it. When Virgilia saw, she understood what that in his hand meant. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chester troops.
まあ、エリカに聞かなきゃそれまでだ。
Oh god, what was that noise I just made?
問題は、たった一度でもいいから、エリカの真正面まで行けるかだわ。シエスタたちはそれを断固阻止するはずよ。
It's time to use that.
リーアなら、その時間をプレゼントできそうね。
Virgilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was the two Chester troops standing at her back. Since that time, she had tried to jump out in front of the procession. She had been marked constantly. It was possible, with Virgilia's vast magical power, to momentarily take out all of the Chester troops in the cathedral. That would only gain a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erica. The Chester troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Virgilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits. Yes, the fragments became bright gold butterflies, which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. Then, at the entrance to that red-carpeted path to the grave, stood a calm, majestic figure.
警護隊、射殺せよ。
ネガティブ、身元照合中。
Dolanor ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chester 00 didn't respond. Was it because she had been threatened about shooting these guests? And was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest pulling some sort of prank? No. Double O was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties.
おや、これは、てっきりご欠席かと
Oh,
思
I
ってい
like
ま
this
したよ。
Erica. This is a good Erica face. The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chester honor guards.
最高の来賓であるあなたがお越しにならないので、ご心配申し上げておりましたとも。でもせめて披露宴には間に合ってよかった。
Vito laughed. That chuckle made Battler's eyes quiver slightly.
お前は。
待たせたな、フルドエリカ。
Oh, yes.
祝福に来たぜ。
I need one of Vito's laughs. I thought that's what she'd start with. I really need one. She had an overpowering and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was it still necessary for her identity to be confirmed? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence? Oh, Beatrice! Yes.
地獄で会おうぜは、わらわの好む別れの挨拶言葉であるが。
身元確認。大ベアトリーチェ教と確認。
It took you that long to figure it out?
まさにここがそうだぜ。フルドエリカ！
At that moment, the two Chester troops standing behind Virgilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Original Beto's dead. She's role-playing. Well, she's role-playing pretty good. Ronove had touched the bases of their big ears from behind. It was clear that he applied some sort of magic.
どなたかお医者様を、お嬢さん方が貧血な。
オールシエスタ、オープンファイヤー！ベアト、今です。
Oh, this is good music. Just an instant before the Chester troops could fire, Virgilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which is more than enough to remind all present what her name had been at the height of her strength, became a spirit wave and exploded throughout the cathedral. That impact made the stained glass windows shatter, and colorful glass shards poured down everywhere.
冷戦防御、復旧急げ。
However, all of the Chester honor guards, who didn't have spherical particle defenses, toppled over like dolls. The ceiling snipers who were defended were able to avoid a system down, but it would take several minutes before the system could be rebooted. That span of time should have been enough to reach Erica. However, Erica couldn't be defeated in just a few minutes. There was no way they could carry Battler away in that time. What should they use this precious time for? Magic shenanigans! Beto dashed down the red carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chester troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place hell. In that case, running from hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beto's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection.
お嬢様、これを。
もらうぞ。
As she dashed, she snatched that from Renove's outstretched hand. there was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erica. However, in that instant, a golden thread came from in front of her and rapidly sewed through the red carpet towards her like a sewing machine. And don't trip on your big poofy dress.
射撃用レーダー捕捉。410データリンク。
410 was clever. She had predicted that Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack, and had folded over her ears in 45s beforehand. So they were the only ones that weren't taken out. Once again, the golden sewing thread chased after Beto, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her. I feel like Gap has the ability to just cheat the way out of this whole thing, but doesn't want to do it because it's far too much fun to watch the fight happen. Beto jumped sideways away from the red carpet, then dashed along the long table covered with beautiful food. The golden snake chased her, sewing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine and scattering dishes left and right. The Godetins ran about wildly trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium. I'm just imagining these big goats running in fear with their hands in the air. That's probably what's happening. Oh, crap. Hold on, I forgot to make a text document for all these links. Let me go ahead and save that really quick. Alright. The pair of snipers, attacking from high above on the chandelier, were much further away than Erica was. Too far for Beto to reach. Furthermore, their position landed the entire cathedral inside their range of fire. Sure, I'll grab another one. Yeah, I was looking for a break soonish. Just let me know in chat if we got anything decent coming up or if we are just for a wild ride of never-ending fun. Gap handed her the magazine. 45 always handed them over backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have one handed to her the right way up. Yeah. Pretty soon? Alright. No matter how distant a position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Gap. Gap twisted their long ears up, then tickled them with her thumbs. Gap, please, do. The Chester's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter. Hold on. Okay, emergency stop. I just dropped my water. Give me a second, I gotta get a towel. Sorry, didn't mean to do this. Yeah, I know it's not a great place, but let's just stop here. I mean, not like stop, but let's break here. It's about 9:30 for me. Be back at 9:35. Alright, oh, well this is exciting. Very exciting music to come back into. I'm sure it's been a very exciting many seconds here. Hi, Wing Bullet. You did join in during a break, congrats. It was kind of an emergency break I had to take because I decided to spill water all over the floor. That's the second time tonight I've done that. I did that while I was setting up. I spilled water on the floor, so I had to wipe it all up. My floor is still a tiny bit wet. I'm waiting for that bit to dry. And then I did it again. I'm kind of mad at myself. Alright, let's keep going. You better hurry, Gap. I don't think you got much longer. You may have gotten a little longer than you were supposed to there, though. On the other chandeliers, even more powerful chesters were slowly starting to move again. One more and I'm getting a sippy cup. I got myself some hot chocolate as well, so I have something else to spill. That's actually a bit worse than water. It's too hot, though. It would be impossible to buy any more time. Cheerleader Virgilia on the sidelines. Beto cut through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses. Her goal was straight in front of her. The place where Erica and Battler were seated. At the time, a red barrier was created, blocking her path. It was a VIP guarding barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out a last line of defense to block Beto's way. Who's my favorite character? Honestly, I'd say Dolinar. I like her facial expressions and I like her death thing. It's good. As the oldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood in waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beto. If she could just distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. I know, that's the thing. I love her interactions with people. Like, sure, she's acting, mean towards these people now because they're in battle, but outside of battle, she's more than happy to have polite conversations with them, and I think that's, like, really nice. She wanted to save Beto. If she could just distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. However, the seven sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord. But sometimes furniture stubs your toe, so they couldn't move to help Beto. Dolinar glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint to her eyes. The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Elizabeth's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder, and her concentration had wavered. But it didn't break. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer. Try to sound a little more confident next time you say something cool like that.
物言えぬ主に何を命令できるというなり。
Please allow me to speak. Let it know that I've been killed.
物聞かずともそれを察するが家具の道と見つけたり
ならやむなし。
Seven stakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude had chosen to take all of those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and receive no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier. Everyone's favorite, monotone character is dead. Vito shot through the scattered red fragments of the barrier. And she was finally right in front of the bride, her rival Erica. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erica. Death sentence Dolanor. Yes, yes, I love this face. Yes, please. Do something cool.
Siesta 20再起動完了。Siesta 127再起動完了。
I'm sorry I skipped Anya. I'll be forever shamed. This is my only attack.
Doke, ドラノール・エーノックス。そなたの出番はない。
あなたを否定する赤き真実にベルンカステル教より賜っています。ここがあなたの墓場となり残念です。
I don't know what Bernkastel has allowed her to say. However, I don't need to sit around and let that longsword tell me.
そなたとは後でたっぷりと遊んでやろう。だが今はどけ。
There's no time. The Chesters have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time.
聞くのはあなたの方です。出番を間違えた哀れな出演者があなたです。
Dolinor's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed right for the crown of Bito's head. However, in that instant, there was a thunk, and the curve missed slightly. Bito didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword, knocked Dolinor aside, and finally stood right in front of Erica. This time, not a single person stood in her way. Popcorn?
緊急花嫁警護役より緊急要請。シエスタ姉妹近衛隊は直ちに侵入者を射殺し立てまつれ。
The commotion quieted. However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they had wanted to. All of the Chester troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger.
なぜ射殺せぬことなりや。式典警備役は直ちに。
つのです。あれは。
Dolinor's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red longsword away. I know, that's true. Cornelia did absolutely nothing. After all, Erica would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erica picked that up, they must not do so. So they couldn't pull the triggers until Erica decided. Is it... oh, is it that? I do remember that section from the fighting game with the unending popcorn stream forever.
よく見なさいよ、あれ。ベアトがエリカに投げつけたあれよ。
Lambda Delta pointed, still chomping down popcorn. It was hard to see from the balcony. Beto had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erica. It had fallen to Erica's feet. What was that white thing?
わかってるわ、あいつ。主役ってもんを本当によくわかってるわ。
面白いじゃないですか。
The thing that had hit Erica in the face and fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beto had gotten from Renove. Is this what I think it is? Hitting someone with a glove like that could only mean one thing. Oh, I think it is. That was... a duel? Oh, yes.
どういう意味なの？
これは決闘の申し込み
Yes,
さ。
a request for a duel.
手袋を拾えばそれを受け入れることを意味する。
拾わなければシエスタたちが殺してくれるわ。拾う必要ないじゃない。
拾わなくてもいいさ。
It's time for the duel, round 2.
でも決闘を逃げたおめえを僕らと参列の悪魔処刑は3回すべてに知らしめるだろうね。恋の決闘を逃げた臆病者の名を永遠にね。
I mean, to be fair, I feel like at a wedding, it would be understandable if you decided not to accept a duel. I'm just saying. I feel like there's times where getting, like, somebody challenging you to a duel doesn't necessarily have to be accepted. Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erica just kicked it away, then that very instant, the Chesters would probably all fire at once, turning her into a golden embroidery. See you later. So Erica did not have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor, who had defeated Battler's closed-room trick and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. Crash a wedding and challenge the bride to a duel, I know, right? So if she was afraid of doing it, it would prove that she still felt a tinge of doubt about her victory.
拾わなければ私はこの衣装を汚すことなくあんたを殺して。
それも披露宴の余興には面白い。だがそなたは拾うさ。
へえ、どうしてです？
わらわがそなたにぴったりの最高の土産を持ってきたからだ。そなたはそれが知りたい。だから拾うさ。
興味ないです。さようなら。
拾うさ。わらわが持ってきたバトラの客室などくだらぬ。もっとシンプルで単純で絶対に解けぬ密室をそなたは聞きたいはずさ。
絶対と密室。
そなたは
Oh,
わらわの挑戦を受けたいはずさ。
I think Erica's getting a little excited.
なぜならそなたは探偵だからだ。
Erica threw off her wedding dress as though it was a cape, revealing my normal clothing underneath somehow. Yes, before she is a bride or a piece or a witch, she is one thing first and foremost.
私は探偵です。あなたを私の対戦相手に認めます。ただ、あなたはこのゲームに登場する資格をロジックエラーは修正できたんでしょうね。
その手袋を拾えばそなたとの戦い
She
の
just
中で
tears it off
そ
and
れが
duels
修
in the
正でき
nude.
たことを証明しようぜ。
Oh! The cathedral was filled with chatter. Erica had picked up the glove. A duel, a duel! The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. At Erica's nod, Dolinar pushed the crowd away, leaving the pair alone. People were permitted to witness this duel. However, no one would be allowed to hinder it in any way. This is the worst wedding ever.
バトラさん、大丈夫です。
No, no, don't go soft
あな
now.
たを助ける方法はもう見つけました。今、あなたを助け出します。
I guess that is proof that she's only regained her previous memories. She's still like the same person.
もうしばらくだけ辛抱してください。
Peter's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down on Erica. Ah, there can be no doubt. That's the expression worn only by the Golden Witch. His shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes in the countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. That rushing figure was Kanon. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance of the mansion. See, you thought Kanon won the duel. But surprise, surprise, Kanon won the duel. He did not slow down in the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it as though trying to break through, and leapt into it. Though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Kanon. He slipped through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And as he recalled those nostalgic days spent serving the Ushiramiya family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Battler's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor. Then the doors to the kitchen and dining hall came into sight. All of it brings back fond memories. There was the honor and rigidity of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time. When the family was out of sight, and he didn't have to preserve that air of majesty, his face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Cross-sama was actually surprisingly kind. He must have gotten the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as if he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madam was a really strict person. Ever since some rumor went around saying that she was strict on female servants, but soft towards male servants. I get the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was also a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sagged with the pain many times. There were a lot of servants, weren't there? Some lasted a short while. Others stayed a long time. Genji-sama is the one person fit to call my father. I am both grateful and resentful towards him over many things. They all mix together, cancel out, and I end up with a neutral emotion. In that case, Kumasawa-san could probably be called my mother. She's helped me out many times. I've always wanted to repay her someday. And now I've lost that chance for all time. Shannon is my big sister. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. She knows I'm colorblind after all. Goda. I hate that guy. Well, I'm glad we're in agreement here. Still, when I complimented his stew, he would sometimes turn red and tell me there was enough for seconds. I didn't dislike that part of him. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up during the instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Oh. It's a boy servant. How old are you? I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think about it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I really did have enough time to build up a love that wouldn't lose to George-sama and Shannon's. Goda's only good trait is food. I mean, seriously, that's true. If he's not making good food, he's kind of cowering around, really. But since I could only see the gray sea, I wasted almost all of that time. What does she like about me? What do I like about her? I get the feeling we never really made that clear. No, she told me. We should have stayed together longer to eventually find that out. The reasons for love could be dealt with later. It took me far too long to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know why Shannon won the duel. God must have been watching. You had so much more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I've reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone lying on the ground. It was Battler. He was lying just outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. Kinky. He'd probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside, until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off, and they were stained with blood. I was manufactured in Japan a few years ago. My operating system is top tier. I could tell at a glance just how hard he had tried until the final moment when his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless the chain lock was set. Battler, this is no time for sleeping, yes? Get up. Battler responded faintly. He probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by his fleeting delusion, that he couldn't allow himself to open his eyes easily. Kanon grabbed Battler by the arms and dragged him into the room. And the inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way into the room. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Battler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtain had been removed, torn, and twisted up into a bundle. He'd probably used trial and error to see if that could be used as a rope for some trick. He'd tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and the nippers lay there on the bottom. To protect this tale, he had nearly been prepared to accept Bernkastel's brutal method of escape and cut himself into pieces while washing himself down the drain. He was even willing to tear apart his own body. To protect the game Beto had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years had that lasted in the closed room of the logic error? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And even in the last moment when his heart died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this closed room that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor with the chain still around his neck.
Battler-sama.
I know, I can picture Battler sitting in the tub too. I was thinking about that. Just kind of sitting there, like, distraught over his situation.
Kanon です。どうかお気をしっかり。
He wiped Battler's face with a towel wetted in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Battler's heart started beating again. Whoops.
Kanon です。よくぞ今日まで耐え忍ばれました。
ちょいと過ぎたみてえだ。
Battler realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone.
もうバトラ様を縛るものは何もありません。さあ、早くお戻りください。
でもよ、あのチェーンを開けるとまた鎖につながれちまう。
大丈夫です。もうバトラ様を縛る鎖は存在しません。僕がここに残ります。
何？だって。
By now, Battler knew the terror of this endless closed room better than anyone else. So he was more filled with shock than happiness. Shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner.
僕は大丈夫です。何も心配することはありません。
しかし
バトラ様はまだやらなければならないことが終わりなのではないですか。
俺は
早くお戻りを。あなたの代わりに戦っている人がいる。そしてあなたの帰りを待っている人がいる。あなたはまた帰らないのですか。
His stern words and gaze shot straight through Battler.
本当にいいのか？
はい、それでいいんです。これであの時の借りが返せるのですから。
借り？俺カノン君に何か？
バトラ様の借りではありません。いいから言ってください。僕は借りを作らない主義なんです。さあ早く。あなたは今度こそ待たせてはいけないんです。だから早く。
Battler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head, unset the chain, and opened the door. Kanon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Battler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he had heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Kanon went out into the corridor to see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room, in Battler's place.
カノン君。
Wait, why does he have to remain in an endless closed room? There's not a logic error anymore.
俺もだぜ。
Oh god! This is for that one time in episode 1 when you picked up the bags of bolts I dropped. Now I have repaid my debt.
何がですか？
俺も借りを作らない男だぜ。この恩は必ず返す。それもすぐにだ。
期待していいやら。さあ走って、あなたの愛する人のところへ。そしてどうかもう二度と迷わないで。
Battler would not turn around any longer. He ran with everything he had. He ran out into the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the very end of the corridor, beyond the light. Now, I get he has to stay to break the logic error, but he's not stuck in there forever. Right? He's like stuck in there for like, I don't know, an hour. Maybe. To my understanding, the endless logic error, like, of room was because he was in the logic error, but as soon as that logic error gets corrected, it's not endless anymore. I think. Kanon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now he only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room and fix the error in logic.
これでチェーンロックをかけて。
As soon as he said it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in the one place Erica hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside and dark, as closets normally are. This tiny space is the final place for me. Oh, that's right, Erica did kill who was in the closet, didn't she? I've totally forgot about that. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved.
簡単な仕事だな。バラの手入れより簡単さ。
Kanon went in it and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet and vanished. It was a sign that the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of the pieces would never tick again. And some say that Kanon's bro level went up 10 levels this day. So for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place.
別にいいさ。これで借りは返したよ。ベアトリーチェ。
The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, now I've paid back all my debts. Now all my debts are...
ジェシカが貸してくれた。返してないや。いいよね。ジェシカ。
Yeah, I'm gonna need that back.
あれ。
No, my debts aren't paid.
気に入ってたんだ。だからプレゼントにしてもらってもいいかな。ダビングして渡すからダメ。
Slowly, Kanon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium, it faded away like the light of fireflies and was painted over with a pitch blackness for all eternity. And Battler cackled as he stumbled away. In the cathedral, the goat attendants were all jostling around either side of the red carpet. On the red carpet, standing across from each other, were Bito and Erica. See, now to my understanding, all we did with the logic error, it's not like we won, like insta victory. All we did by fixing the logic error was make it so we aren't losing, right? How crazy would it be if Erica had a comeback for that and sends us right back into another logic error? Just give up, Battler. In their hands were the pistols given to them by Zephyr and Furfur.
フリントロック式ですか。また古風な。
That is correct. Excellent.
悪魔というのは様式美にこだわるものでな。
Its form was similar to an actual old-fashioned gun, but this was, of course, a demon's gun. This wasn't a gun that would propel a lead bullet with an explosion caused by gunpowder. Like the pistols used in the duels between Shannon and Kanon, whose bullets had contained a magic that would always kill. These pistols also had bullets that were not made of lead.
ベアト、心配の必要はないわよ。あっさり勝って、またリーアは悪態の日々だわ。
この勝負が終わりましたら、たまには有給を申請してみましょう。私、この戦いが終わったら、たまにはぶらりとカリブの方へ船旅に出ます。
この勝負が終わったらはやめとけって。決闘前に演技でもないわ。ベアと緊張感を持ってヘラヘラ笑ってる場合じゃありません。なんでリーチがリラックスしててリーアが緊張してんのよ。もう
ベアトリーチェ様、しっかり。
ベアトリーチェ様に不利な一騎打ちだ。
どうして？
本来魔女は手数で勝負できる。ところがゲームが中断されたため手持ちはバトラ様の客室の謎くらいしかないのよ。
エリカはその謎だけ青きくさびでうがてば全ての謎を解明したことになってしまう。勝てるわよ、ベアトリーチェ様とバトラ様の我らが二人の主を私は信じる。
Loser flags are back.
ありがとう。珍しく勝ちも負けも五分五分だと思ってます。だから先にお礼を言っときます。すべて職務です。感謝の必要はありません。あんたが前回のゲームの時、私がボロクソに負けたのにかばってくれた時嬉しかった。私生まれてから誰かにかばわれたのってあれが初めてだった。我が主にさえ私はかばわれたことがない。
I think your master actually hates you. Don't tell her I said that though.
私が主に与えられたのは暴かれた真実には暴き返すことで自分の痛みを打ち消すという傷つけ合いの仕方だけでした。傲慢をお許しください。私は守らねばと思いました。あなたがどんなか弱い真実で生き、それをよりもっともらしい虚実の横暴で虐げられてきたか察した時、あなたを守りたいと思いました。ありがとう。短い間だったけど、あんたは最高のパートナーでした。
So nice. She's not saying mean things to her right now. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
そうですね。あいつを倒したらあんたと一緒にこの島でいっぱいミステリーを作りましょう。そしてそれをあんたに出題していじめて遊ぶ。どうです？気に入りました。あなたの挑戦楽しみにしています。あ、
You idiot. I'm waiting for Erica just to turn around and say that.
今の撤回です。こういうの負けフラグって言うんでしょ？
Crap, she's recognizing the loser flag. This is bad. This is very bad.
さあいいかい、二人の決闘者たち。
When the two demons clapped their hands, the duelists instantly returned to their bold, tense smiles.
魔法の銃に込める弾は鉛じゃないわ。
ミステリーとファンタジーのうがち合いは赤と青の真実を弾とするべきさ。
互いに真実がある限り弾は無限。
ただし一撃でも当たれば即死。両者覚悟はいいね。
当然。
無論。
栄光ある元老院の議員にして偉大なる絶対の魔女大追い出ませ。汝この決闘の立ち会い人となることを誓うか。
もちろんよ、誓うわ。
The crowd split, and Lambda walked forward with Berncastel by her side. She looked between the faces of the two duelists. Then she took out an envelope with the seal of the one-winged eagle, and lifted it high.
ベアトリーチェより封書にて物語の修正書を受け取ったわ。審査の結果、内容は有効。ロジックエラーの回避を宣言するわ。チェーンロックはかかったまま。これまでの赤き真実に一切矛盾しない。
The many goat attendants knew the details of Battler's closed room. They realized how difficult it was. And though fiery debates had swept across the crowd during the reception, none had been able to find an answer. And now it was clear that Beatrice had already reached one.
よって 本決闘は有効。決闘はたった1点。バトラの客室の密室をめぐって行われるわ。チェーンロックがかかった密室から後宮バトラは失踪した。これについてエリカは青き真実の争点を、ベアトリーチェは反論の赤き真実の争点を。決闘は決着がつくまで続けられるものとする。
上等だ。
上等です。 OK。 それではベアト、あなたが修正した新しい物語と謎をエリカに提示して。
密室のいとこ部屋よりカノンは魔法にて封印を破らずに脱出。密室に至り魔法にてバトラを密室の外へ脱出させた。ふん、くだらない物語。
結構。エリカ側確認は？
副賞要求。バトラを救出したのは間違いなくカノン本人である。
受けようぞ。バトラを救出したのは間違いなくカノン本人である。
副賞要求。
Hey, that's a good place to start.
バトラとカノンは別人である。
受けようぞ。バトラとカノンは別人である。
Can't save yourself.
結構です。
エリカ、確認は以上？
今ので結構です。戦い方は決まりましたので。
OK。 両者は弾丸を装填なさい。
Erica turned around, pressed her finger against the barrel of the pistol, made her blue truth into a bullet, and pushed it in. There was no real saying she had to turn away, but she didn't want her expression to be read. Or it might have been because she couldn't stand the tension of looking at Bito's bold smile. Bito had already finished loading her red truth. She waited for Erica to finish while calmly puffing on her pipe. Then she looked at Battler, who sat on the throne of the Territory Lord, right next to the two witches who sat as witnesses to this duel. Battler's consciousness was still hazy. However, he apparently understood that Bito had come to duel for his sake, so that he could be saved. It was all he could do to just look at Bito with those sluggish eyes. But a flood of emotion passed between them. There was no need for words. A look was enough for them now. Erica closed her eyes tightly, her finger still up against the barrel. At that moment, her stunning powers of concentration made all the distractions of the outside world disappear. Good though. It's always been like this, but my concentration is really good. Are you ready? Me? Furito, Erica? First, let's lay out the situation. Battler disappeared from that closed room. The chain lock is set. Did he disappear by magic? Of course not. There has to be a trick. Kanon didn't save him with magic. He just came, took Battler's place, and set the chain. Everyone knows that much. The problem is the next step. No, it's actually the step before that one. Kanon was in the cousin's room in the guest house. That room was completely sealed with duct tape, and it has been proven that the seal was effective until the time of the logic error. In other words, Kanon escaped from a closed room that was absolute, with no possible excuses or twisted logic. Good though! That's why she called it a simple yet ultimate closed room. How did he escape from the perfect closed room known as the cousin's room? Heh. If I got stuck thinking only about that question, I'd be no better than your average kid detective. That room is a perfect closed room, so there is no way to escape. In other words, trying to think of ways to escape from there is a waste of time. The real question is why Kanon wasn't in the cousin's room when it was sealed. The cousin's room is a completely sealed can. If he was in there when it was sealed, then it's already game over. In other words, at the time the cousin's room was sealed, he wasn't inside it anymore. Good, oh. In other words, let's look at the time I checked everyone's location and sealed the rooms. That's the most suspicious part. At that time, we have the 5 people in the next room over, whom I confirmed with my own eyes. Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, Nanjo. I mentioned the name of those 5 people during the location check and confirmed that they were in the next room over. Then I checked to see whether everyone else was in the cousin's room and had that confirmed for me as well. I said everyone, so whether he was Kanon or Yoshia or even Pura Pico Man, they should all have been sealed in the cousin's room. It seems perfect. However, though that word everyone seems perfect, something's fishy. The correct definition of that word everyone refers to all humans whose name I did not mention directly. In other words, there are exceptions. For example, it's been confirmed that George and Hideyoshi were in the next room over. So humans with the name Hideyoshi or George don't need to be inside the cousin's room. It seems that Kanon told Jessica that his real name was Yoshia. That was no red truth. In other words, what if Kanon's real name is the same as one of those in the next room over? They seem to be about the same age, so let's use George. So what if there were 2 Georges in that room? Gasp! That doesn't violate the red truth saying that Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanjo are in the next room over? Let's say that Kanon's real name was Tanaka George. Both Ushirimiya George and Tanaka George could exist in that room at the same time. In other words, they were 6 humans with 5 names. It looked to my eyes as though there were only 5 people in the next room over, but a 6-person Kanon was hiding somewhere. I don't have the detective's authority, so it wouldn't be that difficult for him to fool my eyes and hide. I see. The double name trick. Stupid, so stupid. Baka. Alright, I've made my logic. Kanon, who was hiding in the next room over, not the cousin's room, left by the window after the seals were placed. The gun had fired, and the tip of my finger was stained with blood. The Blue Truth gunpowder had exploded. Dang it. I've already had Dolinar seal that one. Blue Truth arguing about the window of the next room over is forbidden, so I can't use it. Nice job screwing yourself up on that. Wait, Erica shot herself? Hold on. Oh, was it because she attempted to use the fact that he was in the other room with, quote, everyone? Taro Tanmaka is basically the equivalent of John Smith. Tanaka, okay.
弾は慎重に込めぬとな。
うるさいです。ちょっとしたミスです。
Oh, a little mistake. What did you do?
隣部屋の窓。くだらん小細工で塞いだようだな。ガープに聞いたぞ。
She tried to load a bullet and it exploded? Excellent.
そうですか。それが何か。
ドラノール、 そのくだらぬ封印を解け。今やその封
Just a little
印は
mistake.
貴様らの枷であるわ。
Pt.2 has figured out everything I've been thinking. And she's acting so confident, telling me to go ahead and use that argument.
エリカ卿、
解いてください。あんにゃろう。
Sorry, Erica, you're gonna have to wait until the 25th of December for that one. That's when our offices reopen.
準備はいいようだね、決闘者たち。良ければ向き合って銃口を。そして真実の火種で。
Can I have another bullet? After facing away and readying yourself one last time, Erica spun around. Pt.2 had been facing her since the beginning. She had a confident, challenging smile, as if she'd been kept waiting. Then, without any signal, the two slowly raised their guns, pointing the red and blue glints that hid within their barrels at each other.
来い。楽しませてもらうぞ。
始めなさい。
まずカノンがいかにしていとこ部屋の密室から脱出したか、それを弾丸とします。
ほう、そちらから来るか。
Yeah, no, I know they had unlimited ammo. But imagine how embarrassing that would be after shooting yourself to have to request another bullet so you could continue the duel.
来るがよいぞ。存分に。
参ります。
After holding the gun high and pointing it at Pt.2 once more, Erica pulled the trigger with statements of red and blue truth.
いとこ部屋は完全な密室が最後まで保証されています。よってカノンがこの部屋に本当にいたなら脱出は不可能です。つまりカノンは封印時にいとこ部屋にいなかったのです。カノンの名は仮のもの、本名は未だ不明です。彼の本名が仮に隣部屋の誰かと同じだったなら隣部屋の在室確認に矛盾しない。
My name is Kumasawa.
つまりいとこ部屋に収容されず隣部屋にいることができるということ。
I got embarrassed when I was a kid by having a name like that, so I went with Kanon. The goat attendants chattered and clapped their hands. I see. Such a move would be possible, they said. I love watching this. I love being surrounded by this chatter. After all, I am the detective.
隣部屋は確かに封印されましたがロジックエラー時には扉のみしかその維持が証明されませんでした。よって窓の封印は破られた可能性があります。カノンは隣部屋に存在しその窓から脱出したのです。以上。
Any other theory would be impossible. If this doesn't work, then there's no truth left. As soon as she said, "That is all," both of them fired at the same time. After the blast rang out, it was Erica's gun that fell to the floor. Peter's red bullet had knocked Erica's gun from her own hand. I have fun pretending to be Erica. It's so much fun. Was it arrogance or confidence? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erica's heart, the whole thing would have been over. Pt.2 had missed on purpose. There was a confident smile on her face. It was as though she was offering to play with Erica a little longer. No, this is because it's Pt.2. Beatrice, the witch who mocks others with unsolvable closed-room tricks.
封印時の隣部屋にいたのは秀吉、ジョージ、熊沢、シャノン、南條で
And also Kumasawa.
そして隣部屋の人数は5人。
Oh no.
この5つの名に該当する者以外は存在しない。
Erica, I think you've been going in the wrong direction here.
全ての名は本人以外には名乗れない。
It was a thoroughly merciless red truth. It really was severe. Now that it had been limited to 5 people, any leeway for Kanon hiding there had been completely denied. Since only those to whom those 5 names referred to existed within the room. Erica couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names, so that the 5 names referred to only 4 people, and allowing for Kanon to sneak in even though his name wasn't on the list. Furthermore, the part about how people could only use their own name was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories.
思えばそなたは前回の寝ぼけたわらわしか知らんのだったな。どうだエリカ、これが黄金の魔女のゲームだぜ。
Oh, she's playing Vito so well. Cosplay is on point.
カノンが部屋を抜け出したっていうの。それよりどうして銃を弾くなんて甘い真似を。
人間側は魔女の謎を全て打ち砕き、魔女側は人間側の推理を一つ打ち砕けばいい。これではアンフェアだろう。だからわらわも同じにすることにした。
同じ？
わ
らはそなたの推理を全て打ち砕いて勝利することにした。カノン脱出の謎はわらわの勝ちだが、もう一つバトラに辛酸をなめさせた最初の戦場に戻ろうぞ。
When Beatrice snapped her fingers, that guest room of battlers was reconstructed. She meant to fight once more in the room that had threatened Battler with a logic error, determined to settle things once and for all.
エリカ、拾え銃を。この部屋をお前の棺桶にしてくれるわ。
その言葉、そっくりお返しします。
I need a second chance? What?
私にチャンスを与えたことを。
Oh yes, that would be such a good thing if she called Erica incompetent, but I don't think she can actually do that.
後悔させてやります。
立ち会いによ、エリカに X を許す。
X？ 説明不要の根拠ね。で、何を許すの？
エリカはカノンの密室脱出トリックの説明義務を負わずに、カノンをこの客室トリックをめぐる青き真実に組み入れることを許そうぞ。
You are really full of yourself right now, Beto, which suits your character well. Good job. If a theory for explaining how Kanon saved Battler did not also explain how Kanon escaped from his own closed room, it would have no basis. Erica had already lost that basis. You know what? She's falling to the exact same problem that Battler did by being super overconfident. Has anyone learned anything? No. Vito was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part.
当然です。あんたはカノンがバトラーを助けたことを赤き真実で保証してるんですから。そんなのもらえて当然です。
Erica faced away again and concentrated even harder. As though twisting the knob on a radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to 0. Let's go, Furito Erica. Detective Furito Erica! On the case! As long as Kanon reaches this place, rescuing Battler isn't hard. The trick is as follows. Kanon used some kind of escape trick X to reach the front of the guest room. While I was busy in the bathroom, Battler left the closet. Oh boy, here we go, there's good music. Battler undid the chain lock. Battler went outside. Kanon entered in his place. Kanon set the chain lock. Kanon went into the closet. The end. This satisfies the true red truths about the chain lock being set and Battler's absence. And in exchange for this escape trick, Kanon remains inside the guest room, and I almost knocked over my water again, dang it. There's no room for argument on how tightly this room can act as a closed room. The chain is cursed. In this demonic closed room, one person must remain as a sacrifice for it to be acceptable. However, is such a simple theory really enough? The rescuer switched places with him. Then the rescuer hid in the closet. No other sort of theory is possible. And yet, Beto thinks she can win. In that case, does some other trick exist? It's impossible. I swear on the history of the mystery genre that there's absolutely, definitely, categorically no other way. But if I give in here, I couldn't call myself a detective. Consider it. Imagine Don't Stop Thinking. That's how you drive blue wedges into witches. One thing I can think of. Yes. A wordplay trick. It can only be some kind of wordplay that just barely slips through the net of words spoken in red. That's the entire game, pretty much. In that case, I'll crush all possibilities. I'll have them repeat line after line. This final duel has already begun, even though we haven't pulled our triggers yet.
副将要求バトラ救出時客室に入ったのはカノンのみである。
認めよう。バトラ救出時客室に入ったのはカノンのみである。そういう話のつもりだね。
副将要求、私の入室からロジックエラージまで私とバトラとカノン以外に入退出した者は存在しない。
認めよう。そなたの入室からロジックエラージまで客室を出入りしたのはそなたとバトラとカノンのみ。
副将要求、それはすなわち3人の。
認めよう。そなたとバトラとカノンで3人である。
定義確認。この3人の定義は体の数に等しいと考えていい？ 3体が出入りをしたってことですよね。
I've had enough of things being mixed about with names and numbers of people. I want this point to be clear.
無論だ。3人、すなわち3体が出入りした。そなたとカノンは入ったのみ、バトラは出たのみ。すべての名は本人以外に名乗れないと赤き真実ですでに語っている。よってエリタ、バトラ、カノンの名はいずれも本人にしか名乗れぬのだ。
副将要求、私は救出者ではない。
当然だ。そなたは探偵ではないか。安心せよ。わらわはそれを尊重する。
定義確認。救出者の定義とは？
This is also important. I want to quickly remove the possibility that I rescued him accidentally. wait, how would that?
バトラの開けたチェーンロックを再びかけ直したものということにする。
Battler leaves, accidentally kicks the chain lock into place.
バトラを救う意志があったかどうかは問わないことにしてよ。
Since she said after Battler undid the chain lock, It's impossible for this to have occurred before I set foot in this room. After that point in time, I would not undo the chain for all eternity. After all, the game had been suspended at that point. Please define the word I. Please define definition. Therefore, it was impossible for me to have been the rescuer accidentally. More, I can focus it even more. The chain can only be set from the inside. It's impossible for a person to escape on their own. Please define word, please define rescue, please define people. Please define please. Therefore, we know that Battler didn't escape by himself. And I'm not the rescuer. Only Kanon can be the rescuer. And Vito has already said that Kanon is the rescuer in the Red Truth. There's nothing to doubt. There's no room for anyone but Kanon to be involved. At least so far.
復唱要求出入りの定義とは客室と外部の境界をまたいだかどうかである認めよう復唱要求客室とはベッドルームバスルームクローゼット内の全てを含む認めようクローゼット内を客室でないと言い逃れる気などさらさらないわ定義確認客室内とはベッドルームバスルームクローゼット内の3区分である
Confirming definition. Confirm.
わらわもその認識でいるぞそしてすでにそなたはベッドルームバスルームの2区分で誰も隠れていないことを赤き真実で確認したはずだ復唱要求クローゼット内には誰かがいる拒否するどうしてカノンがそこに隠れているからですかカノンは魔法が使えるのだぞ確かにクローゼットに一時姿を隠しはしたがその後すぐに魔法で姿を消したのだだからクローゼット内には不在よって復唱はできるわそれの復唱を再要求します
Shut up, I don't care.
バカ魔女側には魔法で行ったことについて説明する義務はないわ
No, it's completely obvious. There's no way she can say Kanon disappeared with magic, using the Red Truth. After all, magic doesn't exist. But is this enough? I've gone through every last minor detail. And yet, there's an uncanny lack of dubious points. I can't imagine that any fluke could arise to replace the theory I've had since the beginning. Kanon must be in the closet. He has to be. There's no way he isn't. I'll say it again. This closed room can only be escaped from by switching places with a rescuer. If Kanon tried to escape as well, another rescuer would be needed. However, no rescuer exists for Kanon. Battler escaped, so it's impossible for it to be him. And I won't undo the chain for all eternity. The people who have gone in and out of the room have been confirmed both by name and number of people. At this rate, my theory is set in stone. First, here are the details of the situation that are certain. The game ended while I was inside the guest room, so I did not undo the chain lock that I had previously set. So it can't be that he escaped behind my back after I left the room. Furthermore, the chain lock was set at the same time I entered the room. No one could have left the room during the few seconds between the time I entered and the time I set the chain lock. The guest room was sealed at the time that Battler's corpse was examined. So until I came again and broke the seals, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to go in or out. Therefore, when I entered the room, it is certain that Battler was hiding somewhere inside the guest room. The only chance Battler had to escape was after I broke the seals. To be even more specific, he had no chance to escape, except for the time I was in the bathroom. By the above premises, Battler's trick to escape with the chain still set is as follows. Because of the aforementioned reasons, the only one who could have set the chain lock, which can only be set from the inside and allowed Battler's escape, is Kanon, the only person to enter the room except for me and Battler. After Kanon entered the room, he set the chain, hid in the one place that he could hide inside the guest room, the closet. Ah! Whoa, that was close. They almost got me. They almost tricked me! I thought that I had cornered him in the closet. It's the opposite. They're trying to make me think he's in the closet. What was the order in which I searched the guest room? First, the bedroom. We confirmed with the red truth that there was nothing there. Did she just shoot herself again? Then the bathroom. We confirmed with the red truth that there was nothing there. That's it right there. When we examined the bedroom, there was nothing there. However, while I was investigating the bathroom, Kanon slipped out of the closet and hid again somewhere in the bedroom. In other words, the guarantee that no one was in the bedroom was torn apart after just 1 minute. I've spotted it. This is the witch's trap, an attempt to lure me into thinking that Kanon's in the closet. The place he's really hiding is the bedroom. I'm not even laughing with Erica. Silly Erica. Kanon loves Jessica, who's never in the closet to begin with. Nice.
見つけた。やっと見つけましたよ。あんたのトリック。
That was a close one. At that rate, I'd have said there was nowhere to hide except the closet. And then she'd just say that the closet was empty. Huh? No, wait. It works the same way in reverse. I see, now I get it. It's a logic switching trick. Dang, Beto. So in resolving the logic error, she's discovered the strange trick. If I only notice the closet, she'll have Kanon hide under the bed. And if I only notice the bed, she'll have Kanon hide in the closet. Even though either one would be right, I'd lose no matter what I chose. Unless I expose both at the same time, I can't checkmate her. Incredible. I've never heard of such an unfair trick. If it was a sleight of hand, it'd just be a cheap one. If it was a mystery, it'd just be cheating. However, in this witch's game, it's a legitimate logic trick. In chess, it'd be called a double check. No, a discovered attack. Or wait, would it be a discovered double checkmate? Even though this sort of logic would be a foul trick in the mystery genre. In this world where witches and mystery war, it is such a refined board layout. The beautiful placement of the black pieces that cornered my white king felt almost like an art. So beautiful that, if I were a god in some old legend, I might wish to stick it in the sky as a constellation. That beauty even brought tears to my eyes. For the first time, I felt honored at being allowed to participate in this game of truth and witches as a human. And ironically, it taught me, the one who had always believed in a single truth, that there isn't necessarily just one truth. If I just broaden my perspective, I can see completely different truths. And though each of those truths are all true, they are incomplete if they are all you can see. In my life until now, just how many truths have I missed because I was blinded by some trivial truth? This is the truth of the world.
真実は一つしか存在しないというおごりが、たった一つの真実を見つけただけで、それ以外の真実から私たちを盲目にしてしまう。ありがとう、ベアトリーチェさん。まさか魔女にこの世界の真理を教えられるとは思いませんでした。
How can Erica learn if she knows everything? Slowly, with a soft and quiet gesture, like a flower opening with the morning dew dripping down its side, Erica raised her gun.
私の勝ちです。あなたのダブルチェック見切りました。
ならば来るがよ。
バトラの客室失踪トリックは、以下のバトラは私の室内探索中クローゼット内に隠れていました。そしてバスルームの騒ぎの間にチェーンを外し室外へ脱出しました。この時廊下にはカノンが待機していました。カノンは入れ替わりで客室に入りチェーンを施錠しました。これがバトラ失踪のトリックです。そしてその後彼はベッドルーム内に隠れました。私がベッドルームに不審者がいないことを確認した後のことですので、それは有効です。よって救出者カノンはベッドルームに潜伏しています。
Erica's blue bullet flew in a strange arc, became a wedge of the blue truth, and pierced straight down through the bed and the floor beneath. Beto didn't pull her trigger. However, she did quietly argue back with the red truth.
ベッドルームにカノンは存在しない。
Oh, the goat attendants gasped. It had appeared as though Erica had been defeated, denied by the red truth. For the goats who couldn't see more than a single truth, it probably looks as though I've lost.
次が本命です。これが並び立つ真実を知り得た人間の答えです。
Of her reasoning abilities.
どうやら幻想物語では第二の晩までが終わってるみたいですし、ならば私が残りの晩を遂行して黄金鏡への扉を開いてあげましょう。あなたが負けて消えるならば、それ黄金のバラに包まれてがふさわしい。
The fires of blue truth flashed at Erica's feet, and she loaded a blue truth bullet once more. That overflowing blue power was now making her entire gun burn with a blue flame. She wasn't aiming for Beto. She was aiming behind Beto. At the closet.
ベッドルームを否定したならば、もう逃げ場はここしかない。死ねー、カノン！
The 5 wedges of blue truth she released shot right past Beto's cheeks, hair, and shoulders. Then pincushioned the door to the closet to gouge whatever human was inside to death. The 5 wedges slammed into the door in a vertical line. In other words, on the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, on the 7th twilight, on the 8th twilight. Gouge and kill, kill and kill! Take that, dead people! After being gouged by so many thick and sharp wedges, the human inside wouldn't stand a chance. Maybe she shot and reloaded, 4 times. That was sped up footage, or maybe she's just good at reloading very quick.
これが私の暴く真実です。以上!
When she proclaimed that she had finished, the 5 blue wedges piercing the closet disappeared. However, the many large, splintered holes left behind showed that it had indeed been pierced. Just out of curiosity, anyone got a guess at a time check here? How much longer? Then, as though this had finished the ceremony that had led to the Golden Land, the room that had been created around them became countless golden flower petals and drifted away. By now, a few minutes really, okay. By now, the duelist and the crowd of attendants were surrounded by the golden rose garden of the Golden Land. However, the closet behind Vita remained. It stood there all by itself, like a coffin. Then, as though teased open by a dreary wind, the whole covered closet door slowly opened. Inside was a human figure. That figure was covered up to the head by what appeared to be a grayish robe. Of course, that also had large holes showing that it had been stabbed into. Eventually, it became clear that this was not a robe, but a raincoat. If he had rushed here from the guest house, then there would be nothing strange about him wearing this into the guest room. But then with a rustle, the raincoat lost its human shape and crumpled, became a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. Uh-oh. Do I sense holes in your theory? Inside the coffin of the closet, nothing remained except an empty darkness. Oh, that's a good one.
客室にカノンは存在しない。もちろんクローゼット、ベッドルーム、バスルーム、このすべて。カノンはバトラーを逃がしクローゼットに隠れ、そして魔法にて消えた。それが魔女の真実。以上だ。
勝負ありです。それ以上は。
勝者ベアトリーチェ。
Oh! The attendants let out a cheer. Virgilia's group couldn't help but scream and shout in joy. The 7 sisters jumped about in celebration. Then at the same moment, the 2 demons proclaimed Beatrice's victory. The head's ring worn by Erica, who was slowly crumpling to the ground, and the cursed ring on Battler's finger both burst. At the same time, Battler coughed violently. Battler was starting to regain consciousness. No, you can't fold now. You just won. You have to be cool. You have to wait until later to be that way. Bidu latched onto the coughing Battler in joy. Then Virgilia, Gap, and Renove did the same. Oh boy. Surely there's somebody's made an illustration of this, right? All of the 7 sisters also crowded about him in delight.
ひでえトリックだ。こんなので通ると思ってんのか。こんなトリックじゃまた人間どもがこんなのミステリーじゃねえって騒ぎ出すぜ。
Well, I know there's a manga. I'm talking about like just like a single like illustration.
愛がない人には見えないです。バトラさん。
ヘリカ卿、ヘリカ卿、誰か手当てを早くです。
The rose of blood in Erica's chest wouldn't stop opening its petals.
第3度概念否定症。存続系中和剤は不可。大至急の最短承認でのみ中和可能。駒の主の最短承認が必要なり。
ベルンカステル卿、最短の呼吸感を。ベルンカステル卿、どちらに？
She's gone off on another adventure far away.
式典警備隊に捜索要請。ベルンカステル卿を探したまえ。
了解であります。オールシエスタデータリンク捜索態勢。
卑劣。主が駒の決闘を見届けないなんて卑劣が過ぎると知れ。
Oh, I know. Erica, who is being held by Dolanor, had already realized that her master was nowhere to be seen. And she didn't feel lonely. On the contrary, she was relieved that she wouldn't need to be brutally scolded in the last moments of her life.
神と悪魔たちよ、彼女の高潔なる散り際を。
She's not even dead yet. That's so rude.
高潔。悪役ってのはきっちり無様に散って主賓を盛り上げなきゃです。
I'm not anyone's piece anymore. I can finally control my own role.
ヘリカ卿、
Oh, is Erica gonna do something crazy?
動いてはいけ
Oh,
ま
I
せん。
think she is.
下がりなさい。下がれ！
When Erica yelled with all her soul, those who surrounded her were forced back and fell on their butts.
私は真実の魔女フルトエリカ。真実の魔女とは真実に耐える魔
The
女
truth is you're going to die.
私はようやく自分の本当の真実を受け入れられそうなんです。
The toxin of her own concept being denied raced through her. Her vision was already starting to blur. That might have been from the bullet wound. At the other end of her twisted range of vision were Battler and Beto, hugging each other and looking at her. Their expressions are firm. That's okay. Pity and sympathy would only make me look more pathetic. For a loser, that sort of expression is the best.
ヘリカ卿、もう決闘は終わっています。
終わってないんだ。
死が二人を分かつまで。
Then why are you talking about celebrating her noble death, you hypocrites?
誰にも彼女の散り際を汚せない。
The two demons grabbed Dolinor's shoulders and held her back. Dripping blood, breathing heavily, and with an awkward gait, Erica walked towards Beto and Battler despite it all. As the blood dripped from her, it became golden flower petals which drifted away. So as she walked, she looked both divine and beautiful. The duel wouldn't end until one of them died. So even though it had been resolved, it hadn't ended. Beato and Battler told the people bunched around them to step back, and they both walked forward to face the noble loser.
エリカ。
復活おめでとうございます。あんた長男の層を持ってますよ。ろくな女に好かれやしない。
そうだな。俺もろくな女に惚れね
ベアト。いいえ、あんたたちに頼みが。
もう人たちを望むのですか？
えな。エリカ。
受けようぞ。そなたの高潔なる申し出を断る無粋をわらわたちは持たぬ。
ありがとう。
As her consciousness began to waver, Erica raised her gun again. She pointed it at the two of them. Beato also raised her gun to point at Erica. Oh, yes. Then Battler placed his hand on hers.
もう決着してるのに。
Congratulations, here's your CG for 2 seconds.
これ以上何の論点があるというのです。
エリカ様。
私は何の力にもなれず、ここに。
見届けなさい。それが親友の仕事でしょ。
Both sides silently loaded their bullets of truth without saying a word. The color packed into each barrel was red. Then, though neither side spoke, did they both know what trump card the others would use?
最後に自己紹介しとこうと思いまして。
What is she saying? This late into the game. No one could imagine what red truth Erica had loaded.
ベアト、いいのか？
はい、構いません。
わかった。
せめて最後の引き金は一緒に。
わかってるぜ。
Well, don't take your time. Erica's ready, I think. She's not going to last much longer. Battler placed his hand on top of the finger that Beato had around the trigger.
バトラさん、会えてよかった。
俺たちは永遠にずっと一緒だ。
イチャイチャと見せつけてくれます。イラついてきてたんです。やっぱお涙で退場は私の好みじゃないです。やっぱ悪役は最後の最後までこういう面でなきゃ。
Good bad guy face, yes. You capture that well.
いい面構えだぜ。お前との結婚生活もヘドが出るくらい楽しかったかもな。
当然です。毎日のけぞらせまくってベアトさんなんか忘れさせてあげるくらいの快楽の世界に閉じ込めてあげたのに。
お前ごとき小娘、バトラーを虜にするにはまだ1000年早いわ。
ああ、あんたの顔もそれが一番キュートです。お互い最後はこういう顔がいいですよね。
来い。
これが探偵フルドエリカの最後の捨て台詞。そして
Yeah, that's true. She's like 10. Oh, good music again. Erica spun around in a rondo, and with a magnificent and graceful motion, scattering blood and golden flower petals around her. She's 16? That's still kind of a little weird.
そして 自己紹介で
I
す。
figured it was going to be something stupid like this.
探偵フルドエリカと申します。招かれざる客人ですが、どうか歓迎を。我こそは来訪者、六軒島の18人目の人間。
申し訳ないが
そなたを迎えて
17人だ。
Oh. Oh. Excellent. That was a good way to end that. Boom. So I'm assuming that was my big hint. 17 people even with her on there, which means there's 16 people without her. You just got double Kenzo trick. Finger guns all over the place. Bang, bang, bang. That was good. That was good. Good job, Kanon dying. Yeah, I guess the game didn't technically end. It's saying all these people were alive at the time of the suspension. At least a bunch of them. Execute Erica and the tips? Okay, we will. Sakataro, you weren't even in this game hardly. Don't put your name in the list of people. You were there for like a whole 5 minutes. I don't know if that counts. All of the goats. Oh, that was a good ending. That was really good. All right. All right, so we got some new stuff. We're not going to do that tonight. I know some people might be excited for that, but I think we've gone on more or less long enough. So we'll save that tea party for later and everything. Is it tips? Is that how I reach this, or do I have to go... Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Or do I have to go back into, like, one of my saves or something to do that? I can't yet? Oh, after the tea parties. Gotcha. Oh, I'm in the wrong episode tips? Okay, good job me. Excellent. So I don't... Oh, yeah, I don't get it until after we do the tea party. Well, like I said, we're going to do the tea... We're not going to do them while streaming, because I think we've gone long enough. Yeah, let me go ahead and... speaking of reconstructing, let me go ahead and reconstruct these links. And, take a look at some things. Oh yeah, I was also going to say... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close the game now. I was also going to say, I think, T-Kaz, you told me something. I think you said that I mixed up the order of the uploads of Shadow of the Colossus. Which, I totally did. I went back and looked after you told me. And I accidentally saved the video that was supposed to be there in I was supposed to save that video in like the regular Shadow of the Colossus folder. I accidentally saved it in the Umineko folder. That's why I didn't see it. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Hold on just a moment. Oh man. That's a good one. my first guess on the solution for this episode. Yes. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. First guess at the moment is there's something with the servant. Shannon and Kanon comes to mind, where maybe like they only count for half a person or something. I don't know. Somebody's not supposed to be there, and I'm kind of thinking maybe it's one of those two servants. Maybe it's Battler somehow. I don't know. I mean, that almost feels like it might be true. Yeah. Give me, in the comments of the next video, give me a link for episode 7 portrait. Give me a list of some notable tracks that appeared during this episode, so I can go ahead and use them for the episode's final thoughts, really. Yeah, just if you could go ahead and do that, I'd appreciate it. Think about how it might solve the mystery of the closet. I mean, if Kanon never existed, it would make sense why there was no one there. I just don't quite understand the story of how Battler was saved then. Whatever. Let's see. We're gonna go to the next ones. Am I still? Yeah, I'm still broadcasting that. Let me take that off. I had a couple links that were thrown in here. I'm getting better at this whole thing. So we got Erica there. You draw me a portrait, but I don't know what episode 7's about. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know what it's about either. If you can draw, I certainly would love to see some, like, drawings or something. That'd be cool. Okay. Almost done. I got one last one. Yes, this is a good one too. Yeah, I know the PS3 sprites in some ways don't quite get the original feelings, but I will say as a general whole they do a pretty nice job for a lot of them. Yeah. Yeah, for the suggestions for the song in the... Well, you can even honestly throw them in this video whenever it gets posted as an archive on YouTube. Or you could do it in the next video. Just let me know on those, because I'm not going to remember it right now, and I'll need that for later. That was for tripping on the dress? Oh, yeah, I remember. And then someone's like, he's not going to get that if he looks at it later. Yeah, that's funny. Poofy dress running around. Let me just lift it. Curtsy everywhere. Well, anyway, I think it'll be a huge list. I'll be looking forward to it. I can narrow it down. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions you want me to answer specifically about thoughts of the chapter, let me know. Try to make them not super vague, because making them super vague makes them harder to answer. And while I don't mind sitting down and thinking for a while, if I have like a bunch of super vague questions, it's kind of aggravating. So if you could make something a bit more specific that I could answer a bit more specifically, those are a bit nicer. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Really, thanks for watching. That was fun. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have fun, Beto. Bye.